YouTube has a feature in which it suggests other videos, some of which can be very inappropriate. There might be a way to remove that through a browser add-on. If you could do that, that would be great. Otherwise, children need someone with them to help them decide which videos are appropriate. And frankly, adults also need to be careful to decide which videos are appropriate. Only watch videos you know. While I think we need to allow children internet access, not on mobile devices. It's my opinion. The technology has not yet arrived to allow for a truly secure mobile device, as we'll discuss shortly. And it is easy to avoid parental supervision. I believe parents have to disable all internet access on mobile devices and constantly check to make sure that they remain disabled. This is not easy, but there is one important trick which we'll discuss soon. Should kids have access to social media like Facebook? Personally, I'm not a fan of this idea. As an adult, I can use Facebook maturely. I don't interact with women more than I normally would in person. I don't overshare, and I stick to keeping in touch with old friends, sharing links to interesting articles and blogs, and publicizing events that I think will interest my friends and they think will interest me. When other people overshare, I just ignore it. You could disagree, but I don't think kids have the emotional maturity to do that properly. However, if all their friends are on Facebook, you don't want your child to be socially isolated. Social isolation can be devastating, as the Gemara says, O chavrusa, O misusa, which I'm not even going to translate. If you face that situation, you should monitor your child's Facebook account with social media monitoring software like NetNanny, and you have to discuss proper usage in advance and keep track of it. There's a common myth that Facebook and other online activity leads to problems of predators. A recent horrific story in our community seems to prove it. However, state attorney generals in 2008 convened an Internet Safety Technical Task Force at Harvard, which extensively studied the problem and found that the overwhelming majority of horror stories are not the result of deception. If your child is not engaging in risky behavior, there is minimal danger. Now, I'm not, chas v'sholom, suggesting anything about the recent victim in our community. I'm just making the statistical point that unless a child is going to attempt to meet someone for very, very bad things, his risk of falling victim to an online predator is minimal. We can't cover every parenting topic, but the web has excellent resources, and there are many good books. An excellent recent book is Talking Back to Facebook by James Stiers, which gives detailed parenting advice about the internet and Facebook in particular. The NetNanny website has many good articles about parenting, and there are many other good websites which we have up on the screen and in the handouts. Returning to our topic, let's talk about mobile devices. The web browsers that are factory installed on smartphones are not filtered and cannot be filtered. The only way to use a web filter is to download a special browser like K9 or Mobisip and disable the original browser. These filtered browsers are good, but they're not great yet. They're slow. Sometimes they lack the functionality of the standard browsers. However, the technology will get there, and will get there quickly. Mobisip is the best filtered iPad browser that I've found, and iBrowse is not filtered, but allows you to block images and ads. I use a combination of these browsers on my iPad, alternating depending on which website I'm visiting. In my opinion, these less than perfect browsers will improve quickly, and in the meantime, the lesser performance is a price worth paying for the safety that they provide. In general, because these devices are not nearly as secure as desktops, and you carry them around with you rather than using them in public, you have to be very careful. You have fewer personal boundaries to breach if you are tempted, and you will be tempted. iPhones, iPads, and iPad Touches have parental restrictions built in. Yes, iPod Touches have Wi-Fi capability and a built-in Safari browser. Learn how to use parental restrictions so your kids cannot download inappropriate music and videos. And use it to disable Safari. Delete it, Safari. Get rid of it. But be aware that these restrictions are very easy to bypass. You can find out how by Googling it, and you can even watch videos on YouTube showing you step by step how to bypass the parental restrictions. I consider the restrictions important as a sign rather than a security. If you check your child's device and you find the restrictions have been removed, you know he's up to no good. And if they're still in place, that is a good sign. The key to controlling mobile devices and ensuring that they do not allow web access is controlling the account. Apple devices require an iTunes account in order to download apps. And iTunes requires a credit card in order to buy apps. As long as your child does not have a credit card number, he must use your iTunes account. Do not create another account for him with your credit card. Instead, use that account as a safety mechanism. Set up the account so you are emailed anytime a new app is purchased, and occasionally check to see which apps he downloads. By doing that, you can make sure that your child does not download a web browser or any other app that could take him online. The same goes for an Android device. If you control the Android Market or Google Play account, you control the apps and the ability to get online. However, this is not foolproof because he can create a new account to download free apps, and some web browsers are free. So you must also periodically check the device and see what apps are on there. Look for unfamiliar apps. See what your child is doing, what games he's playing, what apps he's using. You must be involved. Bottom line, we've discussed a number of options, but if you want to keep things simple, here are some recommendations. On your computers, install K9, which is free, or NetNanny or Microsoft Family Filter. Control the administrator account on your computers and make sure other accounts cannot install or uninstall programs. On your mobile devices, disable the factory installed browser and download K9, which is free, or Mobisip as browsers. On your children's mobile devices, set strict parental restrictions. Disable the web. Control the iTunes or Google Play account and check their devices occasionally for unfamiliar apps. Most importantly, talk to your children about what they're doing on their devices and what they're doing online. The internet is the most powerful invention of our lifetimes. It's changed society, supported global economies. It's opened up new ways of communicating and brought previously unimaginable amounts of information to each and every one of us. Torah is now flowing through the Wi-Fi airwaves. The cumulative wisdom of human history is now available on handheld devices, but we have to use this tool well. A filter is necessary, but not enough for a kosher experience. We also need to think kosher and act kosher. We need to learn the roles and apply them responsibly. We've discussed many ways to do this, but no single speech can cover everything. We need to constantly learn and strive to do our best. We need to educate ourselves about technology and begin a never-ending conversation about the latest issues. You don't have to become an expert, but you do have to become conversant. You need to know what questions to ask and whom to ask. We need to act with the sterling character traits we were taught, so we model a Kiddush Hashem to the world and to our children. And we need to teach our children how to use the internet responsibly. I pray that our yeshivas will partner with parents to teach kids about responsible internet usage. We need to work together. And perhaps shuls and community organizations can offer classes on internet skills. These are skills that must be taught. They are not innate in a human being. We need to teach our community the skills so we can move forward into this new era responsibly and turn this world full of wisdom, Umallah ha'aretz de'ah, it's even better, Umallah ha'aretz de'ah Hashem. We are fortunate to live in such blessed times. Let us rise to this occasion and use this magnificent tool the way Hashem wants us to. Thank you very much, everybody.